Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so this reading that I'm getting is centering around masculine energy, and I feel like this guy is in Four of Pentacles energy. So he's in an extreme state of lack. There could actually be money issues going on here, but I'm just getting that he really feels small and he feels insecure. And I feel like there's something here, though, that you don't know or don't understand. You're in the dark here about something. And I also think that you're in the dark about his own shame, because I think this guy carries, I just heard toxic shame. He carries around a lot of toxic shame. And so I feel like you were in Queen of Pentacles energy with this guy in the past in some way, shape, or form. So you guys could have been married, or you could have been in a committed relationship, or you could have just been focusing on yourself and you are actually in some kind of very balanced state. And he could have actually been seeing that as well, because where he's in this Four of Pentacles energy, I feel like you're in the Queen of Pentacles. So that's quite a difference there. So you could have been working towards your stability, towards your abundance, and feeling just very peaceful and tempered and confident in a way that is calm and very well integrated. And I feel like he would have seen that here as well. And it's like he would have had to take a leap of faith into like an Ace of Pentacles energy. But I think there's certain things that he would need to be willing to own up to or willing to admit to. But if you were in a relationship with this guy, or if you were married to this guy, then you would be thinking that everything is perfect, everything is going well. But it's because he's really got something locked down on the inside. And I just heard he has a disorder. Obviously, I'm not here to diagnose anyone, but this could be some kind of like a mood disorder or like a personality disorder, something here where I feel like it's out of order here within him, but he's doing his best to kind of hide that. And I do feel like, I think you think, I'm seeing the same posturing almost like between the Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups, like that man is kind of like sitting, but the man in the Nine of Cups is kind of like man spreading and looks like very self-satisfied. But I always look at the tablecloth behind where it seems like there's something here that's being hidden. So I feel like his wish fulfillment is to successfully hide something from you, which I feel like is his inner realm. It's that feeling of insecurity. This definitely goes back to like attachment style, something here like that. But there is a secret here, definitely. And that's in a way kind of sad that this man's highest form of wish fulfillment that he can conceive of is successfully hiding something. And it's not actually embracing this new beginning with you and actually stepping into his own Queen of Pentacles energy. He can't even almost fathom that. I just heard, I'm broken, I can't do that. Which again, I go back to like that disorder thing, because if he seeks out some kind of help, then maybe he doesn't know the way around it, but somebody like an expert or, could potentially help him through that. I just heard not you though. They don't want you to be the person that this man, like you're not supposed to play therapist here to this person. But I feel like this is a sabotaging pattern. And I do feel that there is some kind of shame, because something always comes out is what I'm getting. Something always comes out about him. And I think that that's what he realizes. But I do think that there's a shame energy here and there's a sabotaging pattern. And I'm looking at a card that says, I mess up the good things in my life sometimes. And what this person feels like they mess up is reciprocity, because I think this person wants to have like all the good things with you. They want to have equal give and take, but it's like this disordered way of being internally is so ingrained. It's like they really truly do not know another way to be. And so it leads them to being dishonest in their conversations with you. And I feel like this person actually wants to have a conversation with you, because something could be going on now that's like unearthing this. Because I see this person going through a period of judgment, which the judgment card in the tarot is this angel that is blowing the trumpet, basically like calling time on this situation. And there's a flag that has that red cross on it. And a cross is divine energy to me. That's that vertical dimension coming down and intersecting with the horizontal dimension, which for me is the earth. It's the earthly plane. And so there's some kind of divinity energy. I just heard time's up. And I feel like he needed to make some kind of decision here. And it could be to change. It could be to cut out something in his life. I feel like he needed to make some kind of change or own up to something or reveal something here to you. And that would have been them kind of inducing their own judgment energy. But in doing that, they would have been honest, which would have engendered trust. And it would have kind of signaled that even though this person has been in a certain state, that they are actually ready and willing to change. But this person, it's like the hiding of it, the keeping something a secret. it's just signaling that this person is in fact not ready to change, because it's almost like they have to deal with the shame around it, because the reason why this person's keeping it secret is because they want to try to control things, aka your reaction. And I can see here, like, at least in the past, you thought everything was fine. You thought, especially if you were in a relationship with this person, like, you thought things were stable, you thought things were growing. I think to the point where you thought that you could put your attention on something else. Not that you were neglecting this person. I see you being in like a very beautiful, very balanced energy. I also feel like the word synergy just stuck out to me there. But I also feel like this person is looking at you in wonder and just being like, how do you do that? You almost seem like a mythical creature to this person. And so they compare themselves to you. And then that furthers that kind of like shame cycle. And I feel like this person is a bit addicted to that shame cycle and the intensity around it. And then the shame and then the hiding of things. And I had a reading come out, I think it was yesterday, that is about feeling addicted to like the hormonal patterns. And I feel like this is a part of this person's addictive hormonal chemical, I just heard imbalance, but like pattern here where this person's almost addicted to this particular cycle. But I think you've been a part of this cycle and not really realized it. So there's quite a bit of like a hidden element here. But like I said, I feel this person is currently going through a period of judgment where whatever they've tried to tamp down, whatever they've tried to put a lot of pressure on to keep hidden beneath the surface, it's somehow popped out in some way through some kind of message that you found, through something that was said that can't be unsaid. I just heard there's a bell that was rung that can't be unrung. And so you kind of know about that in some way, shape, or form. Something here has been unearthed, and it always does, and it always will, because it's a cycle with this person, and they lie to themselves, they lie to you. You know, this shame energy, this secretive energy makes this person a liar, and this person accepting that lying kind of behavior from themselves, I think makes them capable of, I just heard, really just about anything. I don't feel that you are at least emotionally safe around this person. I think this person can become very volatile whenever they feel like they're about to get exposed, but it still gives that like very addictive stress response in the body that is like a high in some way. But something here has come out, and I think they're afraid of a message from you. Maybe that's what's come out, is that you've said, look, I know about this, I know about such and such, I know about whatever, and it's leading to something balancing out in the situation. Because in my mind, I'm seeing like the judgment energy moving to the justice energy, moving to the justice card. And I think both of you are feeling less confident in the future, but it's because you're breaking away from this like familiar cycle, this familiar pattern. And I think you're realizing that the way you felt with this person, that felt like your familiar routine or something like that. And I think this person was like sneaking around whenever you would try to build your future. So you could be going to school, you could be trying to build a business or something. Whenever you would put your focus on something that you felt safe to put your focus on, and you felt like you were building with this person, I think that's when this person would feel smug, even feel like they'd pulled one over, or like felt most content because they felt like you couldn't see. And this person, I think, has like a party issue as well, like where they go out and party and there's certain people, and this person even could have you around these people. I mean, this feels very negative, but it feels like you thought you had something that you could put weight on, something that you were very happy and joyful and peaceful and confident in. So making that turnaround of like, wait, it's not this, it's actually the other thing. It is a karmic rebalancing in the situation for you as well, because now you're acquainted with the truth. But I feel like it's just been really, really heavy. And so you've gone from a period of like being in the dark about something, and I think somehow your own fears process that. Like maybe you didn't want to look too closely. Maybe something was too good to be true here, or maybe you did follow a similar pattern, like with another boyfriend. I'm getting specifically another boyfriend, actually. That this man's patterning, like he's not cool. This isn't unique. Like I do think you've experienced this before. To all of a sudden you've been illuminated, and I think that it's unearthed your fears here. And I think that's possibly like some kind of addictive stress pattern that you have going on. And it doesn't mean that you like it, right? It's saying that it's like those spikes in intensity might be all that you know, or it might mirror what's gone on in your families, I think, here for both of you in your early childhood. And I think it's brought out shame in you, where you felt stupid, or you felt like you should have known better because it always happens like this. Or, maybe this person has done this to you before in the past and they promised that they would change. And I do think the secrecy and the shame factor really is if this person initiates, right? If this person comes forward to you and tells you this, that, and the other thing, that is a stronger indicator that this person wants to change and wants to change for the right reasons. But if they're keeping things a secret and then you have to find out about it in some way, I highly doubt this person is going to change. They just don't want you to know. And that's really, it's like they want to put the toothpaste back in the tube, the genie back in the bottle. They don't want you to know. And that's what feels fine and comfortable. And maybe that's what feels fine and comfortable for you, but it's not the real thing. And I think that that's been a major adjustment, or it will be into the future. And for some of you, this is like leading up to a divorce or some kind of like big breakup here, because I see a Queen of Wands like in the picture. That's what I think you've found out about. And I think that it's ended a cycle here. But I also think that you are going to have some kind of quick turnaround in this, or like not emotionally maybe, but there's something that you're going to learn or integrate because of this here as well. And I think you're somehow going to find your own confidence in this, like your real confidence, and especially a sexual confidence, where you know your worth and you know your value. And this does feel to me like on your own at first, like actually processing and grieving this situation. And Spirit is wanting you to get in touch with your intuition in order, like when you're debriefing the situation, like what did I miss? Because I do think that your intuition was kind of screaming at you, but I think that you are good at putting it back to sleep or something, or you had something else that you just wanted to keep building. I think that the way that things felt, the fantasy that this person sucked you into felt good. It felt peaceful. And so you wanted to kind of keep going, like with whatever it was that you were building together. And also I think that this made you feel like you could put your focus on, you thought you had something stable at home. And so it made you feel like you could build with this person, that they were also being earnest in their building and that you guys were on the track together. That's what you thought. So I think that Spirit's wanting you to get in touch with your intuition. There's some kind of secret relationship here. And I think like they want you to observe it in some way. So maybe you've known about this, but if you don't let this person know that you know right away, you could get more information. You could observe their behavior. You could start to kind of track, even though I'm sure it's going to be very painful, but you can kind of track how you were lied to and this person's pattern of lying. And you should give yourself that edge if you can. Like if you can stomach it, and you don't have to, do stuff with this person. You can be cold and distant. You could have stuff to do at work, like you can kind of, push certain elements of it off, but just really observe this person. Look at their face, map what they look like when they're lying to you. See them try to, make a light joke to you. Knowing now that you know what's going on in the background, really watch this person. Look at the depth of their deception. Look how comfortable they are in a liar's skin. Really watch that and cry if you need to. That something that you thought was good and that possibly you thought was going to be forever is not real. Marvel at how well this person lies. And you know what they say, if you're good at lying, you're not good at anything else. And so I feel like you're really going to come around to understanding this loss in your life, because it will be a loss and you will have to grieve this. It's a win overall. Losing someone like this is a net gain in your life. And being someone like this is a net loss. Now, I think for some of you could also find out about a child. Like, okay, so what's showing up in the challenge position here is the Page of Cups. So this could be a child. But I also think it's extreme emotional immaturity. And maybe you feel like you've been emotionally immature as well. But I think with you, it would just be like your intuition's been screaming at you and you silence that voice. It was that little, like the Page of Cups, right? It was that little kind of little peek up. And it could be a picture that you saw or something. I don't know. But I feel like there could be a child here for some of you. At the very least, this person's incredibly childish, and they're childish in an emotional sense. And so I think this person may also try and be like very lighthearted in order to get you back on their train to hell, their emotional roller coaster ride. Like they might try to make you laugh, or they might try to distract you with their jester kind of nature. That's what I get from the Page of Cups. Like I almost picture them like juggling or something, and they're trying to bring it back to the lighter energy. But I feel like this is a big secret. It's not a light energy. That might be part of the deception too, is like you think that this person is just like some kind of lighthearted energy, but really there's a lot of strategy. There is depth here, and it's poisonous depth. It's not something that this person interacts with in a productive way. It's something that they it's like they have a whole clandestine existence, and they may try to keep things on some kind of superficial, lighthearted, seemingly lighthearted level with you so that you don't get suspicious and you don't go poking around. And they keep the lighthearted so pleasant that, again, you don't want it to almost change, kind of a thing. But that's the trap, is this person. That's how they lull you into this kind of feeling of safety, but also a feeling of friendship and friendliness, and that they care for you, or that they're not a threat. But this person is a threat, and they use that lighthearted energy to throw you off their track, to throw you off their scent. So this person's behaving like an enemy. They are an enemy to you and to anybody good and stable. This person, and also to anybody bad that thinks that they're pulling the wool over someone, because they're just a user. They're just yeah. So I do feel Spirit is wanting you to observe this in some kind of high priestess fashion. Obviously, you're here at the tarot, but I feel like this is tapping into your intuition. It's, possibly observing a secret relationship, because maybe for some of you actually can see it. Like, you potentially know who this person was sleeping with. Notice them. Like, some of you can see the two of them interacting together, and on the surface, it looks like they're just friends, or it looks like it's nothing. So just watch, just observe. What a liar does. It's like you're out in the wild looking at a cheetah, just try to do that if you can. If you can't, don't put yourself through hell. Just accept that this is a very painful ending. And I think Spirit will work with your intuition to try and unearth things as you feel confident, as you feel stronger in your energy, and as you get further away from this. What Spirit is wanting for you, and what Spirit is saying is the outcome of this situation, is actually the Hierophant. I feel like this is some kind of initiating experience into some kind of higher level of viewing the world. And the step one is really getting in touch with your own intuition here. And I think this is leading you on your way. I had a lyric in my head. Pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. Yeah, so this person, and having to go through this was deeply disturbing, is what I think this disturbed you on some kind of level. And just the ease, the slick, city slicker. I just heard for some of you this is a country boy, but he's a city slicker. Don't you ever forget it. He's a city slicker. He's got that city slicker tongue, that silver tongued, kind of energy. So you needed this acquaintance, that things are not always what they seemed. You had to have this very disturbing realization in order to shatter I just saw something just shatter the narc fantasy. And I don't think this is necessarily just around this person, but it's fantasies that you have about the world, and possibly about love, and about that everything, I don't know. It seemed like I just heard autopilot, that you can just kind of go on autopilot and things are going to just work out. No, you have to pay attention to those little blips in your intuition. You have to stand by yourself. I just heard stand by your man. But I really think that you're learning, I'm not going to stand by my man if he's an absolute trash dump. I'm going to stand by myself, because I'm literally just picturing this man being a dumpster fire, and you're just my man, stand by yourself. You're the one that is showing up to your life, And I feel like this is the broken road that's leading you to Spirit. For sure, this is some kind of maybe an enlightenment experience. It's getting you closer to Spirit. It's helping you to have a higher perspective. So they're showing me this process unfolding where you are getting in touch with your intuition, and you're observing how this person works, or how the world works in some kind of capacity. It's getting you in touch with your intuition, which is then acquainting you with some kind of higher perspective. And it is a perspective where you're nobody's fool ever again. Maybe you feel like you were with this person's fool. And that they just knew how to shut off your brain in a way, to shut off your intuition in a way. And I think it has to do with this lighthearted jester kind of energy. And you just assuming that because things were nice on that superficial level, that it meant that the rest of it was all in order as well. But really, that was just a sleight of hand. It was just a distraction. It was a look over here kind of energy. And so because you're getting acquainted with that higher perspective, I don't think you're going to be taken in by something like this again. And even if you are, I don't think you're going to take the fall as hard. It's going to be easier for you to be I've been through this before, dust yourself back off, and also not blame yourself for somebody else's just piss poor decisions. I mean, this person's terrible, and they're choosing to be terrible. And I do think this person has a disorder, but they also need to get they need to get the help that they need. It really needs to not be okay with this person to treat people the way that they treat them. And that's just a firm stance that I have. I have compassion for people who struggle with like mental disorders and stuff. I do. But I also hold a very strong boundary of we don't treat people like trash. And that includes this MFer right here showing up on my table. Yeah. So you're getting initiated in that higher perspective, which is allowing you to take the higher cup from spirit. And I think it's allowing you to step outside of a cycle, because I'm kind of seeing like potentially more people like this person lined up. I'm not trying to scare you in any way. It's just there's a pattern that you've been like kind of sucked into where you're at risk. This can be an enlightenment experience. This can be a wake up call experience where you start to really observe. That's why Spirit's wanting you to observe, because in the observation, you don't have to repeat something 500 times, in order to like put all the pieces together. You can really make the most of this one deeply entrenching experience. You really can. And just like put the puzzle together. And like I just heard that song. It's like, for all the times that you rain on my parade and all the clubs you get in using my name. Okay, so I feel like this person could also use you as a beard for some. Like, I don't necessarily think it's like you're Justin Bieber and this person gets into certain like clubs. Maybe take that if it resonates. But I think that I just heard it's an air of respectability. Like this person gets into like more respectable circles for having a stable girlfriend or for having a girlfriend like you on their arm. Being associated with you is currency. I just heard being associated with you is some kind of currency in this person's world. And that's what they're doing. That's how they're using you. And even for the people that they trick on the side, because this person's associated with you and some kind of girlfriend, it gives them the illusion that, oh, this person's like girlfriend minded. They want a girlfriend. And make no mistake, this person is probably lying on you, saying that you're this and you're that. Really, I think they're projecting themselves onto you, but it's just a big smoke and mirror show. So it props up in this third party. And for those of you, if you are a third party, then just know that they're lying to you about their wife and who she actually is, or their husband, however this situation goes. And because they're trying to drum up an experience, because this is not okay what you're doing, the cheating, and they want to make you think that it is okay. And they can only make you think that it is okay to behave like this, which that should always be your primary focus, in my opinion, as a spiritual person. I think it shouldn't matter what the external situation is. I think you should have standards for yourself and whatever standards resonate with you. But I just don't think that treating people like this, like they don't have hearts and minds and stuff, it just doesn't sit well with me, because I'm a person with empathy. And I decided a long time ago that God, the God energy, would never. Okay, let's just be real. Like attracts like. In the world of frequency and vibration, your forever person is not going to be with someone else. Okay, they're just not. God's not going to bring you to that person. And in order for you to be with that person, that is a karmic lesson. That's what I put my full weight on that in my own life. And so it causes me to be less confused, and it gives me a starting perspective of, okay, what is it that I need to learn here? Right? Like if I was ever in that situation, then I would never think like, oh, it's because I'm supposed to be with this person. I would be like, what is something here needs to be like healed or looked at? Not everything is like that. You still get attracted to people even if you're in a relationship, right? Like you can acknowledge when someone's attractive. So yeah, I feel like this is about you taking that higher cup, and that higher cup is like actually looking in the mirror, accepting this experience as that. Like it's reflecting something back in the mirror, right? If you are this third party and this person's like, my girlfriend is literally the worst. Okay, well, why can't you break up with her? Oh, because she's like so the worst that she's like, no, this man is playing both sides. Okay. And he's giving you something to make you psychologically comfortable with stepping out with him. If you are the girlfriend here, just know he's probably trash talking you around town in order to make these girls or boys or whoever he's sleeping with feel better about interloping in your relationship. They're painting you as the bad guy. So far from this being your divine masculine and someone who's going to protect you and your family and stand up for what's right, far from that, this man is drawing a lot of negative attention towards you. Not only is he incapable of being in that energy, but he is your enemy. I keep saying that. He is your enemy. He's possibly sleeping with the enemy is what I just heard. Like this is your biggest enemy, because all this man is capable of caring about or managing is himself and his secrets. And I feel like this is the cycle that you are finally seeing clearly, and you're learning how to accept. That's what I'm getting. And I'm hearing the serenity prayer in my mind. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so I feel like you are accepting the things that you cannot change, which is him, because he's not your responsibility. He has the snapshot of being with you, an upright person who would never, right? And he's going to have to live with that his whole life. Because anybody that would put up with this kind of behavior is not going to hold a candle to you, and rest assured in that. So just accepting that you cannot change him, accepting him for who he is, seeing him very clearly, which is why I think Spirit is wanting you in this observational mode so that you don't just run from it, or excuse it or stick your head back in denial. Look at it for what it is, accept who this person actually is, and have the courage to change the things that you can, which is your relationship status, right? It's the way that you move out here, and allow this to percolate into some kind of wisdom where you say, you know what, I think I would rather be single and work towards my goals than be with somebody who's going to drag me down like this. Somebody who's going to uproot everything that I've worked for emotionally, physically, who's going to, make me feel like I've got to take an STD test. Like, I don't want that. I don't want it. I just saw you spit it out and you're like, I don't want that. When you see it clear, that's what Spirit's wanting you to do. When you see it clear, you don't want it. And it's definitely not divine anything, right? So there's a divine process happening here, which is just getting a really hard look in the mirror, but use it for what it is, right? Don't waste this experience. I think that some of you have a tendency to feel sorry for a person like this, like for this person in particular, but because you know that they sabotage the good things. And I think you know that they love you on some level to whatever capacity they have to love somebody, because love is a set of behaviors as much as it is a feeling. Love is being able to be selfless. Love is being able to show up to your life and to your relationships. And this person does not have that. And they don't have that to give to anybody. Not right now, they don't. They've got to embark on their own healing journey. And that's the best that they can hope from this relationship, is that it puts them on a crash course to their own healing. But honestly, this person, I just heard the songs like, he's got a blank space, baby, and it's in his brain. Like, I feel like this person, and you may have wondered that with this person, like, are you stupid? Or are you mean? Are you vindictive? And this person, I think, maybe dumbs themselves down. They either want to give an appearance of idiocy, or they actually keep themselves in the dark about the realities of what they're doing to people in order to further this behavior. Because once again, it feels enormous. And again, we can have compassion for that. It feels enormous whenever you are recognizing that something is dysfunctional in your life and you're like, literally, I don't have a clue where to start, because if I had a clue, I wouldn't be doing this in the first place. But we live in a time where there's experts. There are things that you can find that can help you. And it's like, just start throwing spaghetti at the wall kind of thing at the very least. But do try, And I don't know. I always wonder about people that behave like this, because as somebody who has empathy, and if I made somebody like, there's this meme that was like, just know if I've ever made you feel awkward, I'm thinking about it every night for like the next 50 years. Like somebody who feels like that, it's like, I just could never be okay with knowing that I'm crushing people, like as I move through life. But that's maybe a difference between you and this person. They just give the veneer, the appearance of like kindness and goodness. I think like niceness, because true goodness has teeth, and it'll say like, look, this is the truth and you know it. That's like, to be truly good, you have to be that wall for a person like this. Somebody's got to, and not that they should appoint themselves that, but just when they encounter this energy, somebody has got to reflect the truth back to this person so they stop going around hurting people and thinking that it's okay. It's not. And it needs to be fixed. And it won't be fixed overnight, but there needs to be some accountability here. And there needs to be some reckoning. And I feel like that's, okay, now I'm hearing myself earlier in the reading say like, there's been a bell that's been rung here that can't be unrung. And I feel like that was for you, where it's like, you have heard something, you've seen something in a new light, or you found out about something or someone, and you're never going to not see that about this person ever again. Regardless of what decision you make in the future. I feel like the same is going off for this person, where they're like, holy shit, I need to change. And for some of you, it was the loss of you, because you were somehow their wish fulfillment, but they could only think to maintain a relationship with you through secrecy and through maintaining their shame. This person didn't recognize that being with you and being with their shame at the same time, which I just heard, whatever third party is here, if you know this person in their face and their name and stuff, their name is shame. That's what their third party is. So being with you and being with shame is incompatible. They cannot do both. I genuinely feel like it is just, it cannot be any other way. This third party represents their shame in some way. And that's all they are to them. And it is like they're sleeping with their own shame. So this is a wake-up call, I think, for everybody involved in this situation to start seeing things clearly. This man, I want to say, but of course flip the genders, needs to see themselves clearly, and they need to see what they do to other people clearly. And if this person is a good person, if they have empathy at all, it's literally going to crush them for the first time. Instead of crushing other people, Perhaps that's what some of you did in order to break this cycle. Like, you couldn't have done it. It's like this person cares about you and it actually crushed them and it crushed their ego, because this person's been trying. I think this is a person who somehow still maintains a self-image as being a good person. They just stuff their shame down, you know, because they tell themselves that they can't or something here like that. But I feel like this is actually, it's been a painful ending. They can't ignore something here about themselves, and you can't ignore something here about this person. I feel like that's your part in it, is you're learning how to not be complicit in your own torture, in your own mistreatment. You're learning how to stand up for yourself. You're learning how to hold a boundary, and how to let go of something that you thought was one thing, and when you realize that's another thing. And that's learning how to stand up for yourself and recognizing an enemy is what I'm getting as well. And this person, who knows how this person would feel, like, just to know that they actually are an enemy to you. I feel like this person would be like, no, I'm not. Like, I love you more than anything, blah, blah, blah. Like, but no, then act like it. This person doesn't act like it. And if this person's in a man body, then that's extremely important, because the masculine element of things rules over action. He needs to fucking act like it. So he can't just go around saying things, because talk is cheap with this guy. Talk is really, really cheap with everybody, but especially with this guy, because he just lies as easily as he breathes. It's what he's used to. So he has to break that pattern within himself before he's a suitable partner for anybody. And if you're jealous about him moving on, I think you're just jealous that somebody else gets to be in the dream or in the fantasy with him for a little bit. But they'll find out too, unless they're incredibly stupid or they have no self-respect. And neither one of those is a preferable situation to be in. So I'm just telling you that, not to be mean, but I'm just saying it can't be any other way, because he's a lie and he induces people into his lie. And I think you might remember how when things were good, they were really good, but it was because you were in the lie with him. You were in the lie bubble. And some of you may, at some times in your weakest moments, wish that you could go back there and still feel like everything is okay. But there is no going back. There's only going forward. So I think it's really up to this man if he turns himself around, and then you guys could potentially have the real thing and you could both go on that healing path together. I do think that's a possibility. I think it's a slim possibility. And I think you need to see things from him. And he's also made himself known to be a liar. So you've got to see it. The proof has to be in the pudding, right? He can't just be like, hi, I've changed. Hi, I haven't been around you. Like, yeah, because he was probably gutter sledding around the bar. Like, that's what I would think. You know, just because he gets a haircut and like cleans himself up doesn't mean that he's cleaned himself up on the inside. And I know all this sounds really harsh, but I'm just saying, like, this man has kind of, for this person in particular, he's really raised the bar of what you need to know about him. You know, you wouldn't have to know this about other people, but he's traumatized you and he's traumatized other people. And so he's placed himself in the known liar category of your life. So it is going to take a monumental effort if he's decided he wants you and he wants to clean up his act for you. That's going to take a lot more effort than just trying to trick somebody else off the street. It is. And that's for him to decide, you know? So, and again, maybe that's the time limit here, where he's got an opportunity to maybe turn that around, because possibly this is a love connection. Possibly this is a soulmate connection here. And that's a very real part of this connection too. But if he's just going to go around hurting you, then you have to stand up to him, you know? And not in a flimsy way, in a, you know, not, we do this little performance of, I tell you, you have to change, and then I'm not going to put up with it anymore. But really, I actually do after a couple of days. He's going to know all that. He's going to know all that. You actually have to stand up to him and tell him to get right or get lost. So anyways, that's what I have for you. If this resonates, best of luck with your healing journey. This is, be patient with yourself, because I feel like you would probably have just learned something, or something's been unearthed here, and you're being encouraged by spirit to observe, and to observe in a high priestess position. So that's possibly from the shadows, possibly without saying anything, which for some of you, I think, even if you can do this for a week, you know what I'm saying? It's like, just don't tell him that you're on to him, and watch the way that this man lies, because I think you're going to be impressed. So anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.